Welcome back to another Access 72 video. In today's video I'm back with another interview and I'm here with Trevor Thonson. Trevor, how are we?
I'm good, thank you.
Great. Well, thank you very much for coming on the channel, mate.
Absolutely.
Great. And so am I right in saying you're a 31-year-old lightweight who's 7-0?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And so if you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do like the video, and let's get straight into it. So, I'm going to start off with a question which I always like to start off with, and that is, why did you start boxing?
Well, my brother and I always liked fighting. Between us both, we had like hundreds of fights. So then, always watched fighting movies, and then just took it a step further, by joining a gym. He had started before me, so I guess my brother had introduced the sport of boxing to me, and then just through my passion of liking fighting, training, the philosophical side of fighting, and mind-body spirit, being one with yourself and just overcoming yourself every day, everything that has to do with fighting and pushing yourself every day in the gym. I like that,
Yeah, definitely. And of course your brother's with Chan Thonson, who we've just recently done an interview with on this channel, and he's a great guy, and I will speak a bit more about kind of coming up with him in a little bit. But do you remember what happened in your first amateur fight?
Yeah, it was yesterday. I was terrified, actually. I was on the same car as my brother. It was at a small show in Montreal, and the gym was packed, right? So as I'm walking through the crowd, like everyone's like bumping me, like tagging me. Yeah. This whole time I'm thinking, like, what the hell am I doing? Yeah. So I got in the ring. I was nervous. I ended up losing my first fight 2 rounds to 1. Okay. That's the judges had it. Nonetheless, I was all over the place. But what happened at the end of the fight was I fell in love with the sport, I didn't really understand how hard boxing was, or I was looking at my brother's fight saying, oh, it's easy. Then doing it, winning or losing didn't really matter to me at that time. I just wanted to know if I still like doing this, because I know some people lose their first fight and they're done, So more importantly, I fell in love with the training camp that I had for the fight, the 6 months of training for my first fight, and then actually stepping in the ring and being in front of the crowd, like having the moment to myself,
No, definitely. That kind of love for the sport, something that you've got to have to be able to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so throughout your whole amateur career, what was your biggest achievement?
I won a tournament called the Bronze Gloves. I won the Imperium Cup in Quebec. I won the Golden Gloves, and I won the Nationals in Jamaica. So I ended up in 2018. I was ranked number 1 in Quebec. Wow. So I ended up leaving Canada to go to Jamaica and boxing for Team Jamaica for the Olympic team. So I didn't get to go to the Olympics because of I was training for the trials, but because of COVID, Argentina had closed its borders, so there was no Olympic trials. So as the nationals team,
No, definitely. And well, I mean, you've kind of fought not just in your amateur career, but your professional career as well. You fought all over the place, had a lot of different fights in a lot of different countries. But what would you say is your favorite country you fought in?
Definitely America. I fought in Atlanta and New Orleans. So yeah, so the 2 states. So definitely America, because I feel like as much as I love fighting in Jamaica, Colombia, and Panama, the people are good, the locals are good, but not to say it doesn't do anything for my name. It does, but in America, it's more word to mouth, You grow faster fighting in the States, so because it's such a boxing place, like as if someone were to fight in the UK, So fighting in America is definitely better. I prefer, and there's no language barrier in between, like Colombia and Panama.
Yeah, no, definitely. And well, I mean, you've only recently turned pro. Just last year you turned pro. And why did you decide last year was the time to turn pro?
Because I feel like after not having the opportunity to go to Olympics, there was no point in staying amateur. I was really 100% ready to qualify, and represent Team Jamaica in the Olympics, but that didn't happen. So I had waited, and even when I had got the news that they were pushing the Olympics back a year, I was still in a good position to qualify. So I didn't want to turn pro in 2020. I was going to really just wait till 2021, and then turn pro after, you know. So that's what I did. So once the opportunity was stolen or lost, I felt it was time.
Okay. And well, I mean, just to kind of touch on your kind of Olympic ambitions, unfortunately it didn't come to fruition, but what's your kind of thoughts on the Olympic boxing kind of being stopped?
I don't think it should be stopped at all, you know, because it's I think boxing is the oldest sport in the world next to wrestling, and it's been in the Olympics for so long. The only thing I think that they should do is find a better way to judge, because that's the real problem why they're going to throw it out, because the corruption year after year after year, it goes back all the way to like 50, 60 years ago, but the corruption is still happening. How many athletes get cheated out of medals or anything like that, you know? So I believe it should stay in the sport. I don't know how they could fix the corruption, because obviously there's countries have their influence on judges, and I think maybe every fight being fought, let's say if it's like, okay, America versus Canada, let's say, no judge should be from North America. It should be all outside judges, you know, or something like that, like to control the judging. But I don't believe Olympics should stay, because it's a great achievement every amateur works towards. And if they take that out, then you're going to have a lot of already amateurs are turning pro without any pro fights and without any amateur fights. So if you take the Olympics out, there's no goal now. Like, forget the Worlds, forget the Commonwealth, forget the Pan Ams, forget those, you know. Like, the Olympic is a goal for, as an amateur. When you hear Sugar Ray Leonard, Oscar De La Hoya, Andre Ward talk about one of their great achievement, it's the gold medal, you know. So taking that away, it takes a lot of ambitions as an amateur to stay amateur, you know.
Definitely. And I suppose it would be kind of interesting to see what happens, and if maybe another big kind of amateur boxing tournament might take the place of it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, maybe Worlds would be more important, or if they do like Worlds and then maybe something higher, I wonder, you know, it would be interesting.
Definitely, no, it's interesting. I just wanted your thoughts on that. And well, I mean, just to kind of go back onto now the professional side of things for your career. Of course, you're doing very well, 7-0, and you've been very active so far. But out of these 7 fights you've had, which one would you say you've performed your best in?
My best, eh? I haven't really faced like anybody to say. I think my one in November in Panama was probably interesting, because he went 3 rounds, and the setup was just perfect. Like, when I hit the guy, I looked at him, I didn't even feel it. Like, when I looked back, he was just on his back, you know. So he's like, I fainted low, I came with the overhand right, and it literally felt like my hand went through air. So it was around the button. So in terms of like performance, maybe that one, but I haven't really faced anybody to even display any of my abilities. I'm just knocking these guys out. So I know later this year we'll have some tougher fights, and hopefully I can get someone that could be tough, durable. You know, I'm a puncher, so if they get knocked out, they get knocked out. But maybe to display my defense and my boxing IQ, you know. So right now, it's still yet to be seen, you know.
Okay, that's something for the fans to look forward to. And well, I mean, absolutely. Of course, like I said, you've been very active so far, and I suppose maybe turning pro a little bit later on, as like 30 turning pro. And so are you kind of maybe making up for lost time in a little way?
Yes, and yes and no, you know, because now we're starting to see a lot of guys who are boxing a little later, you know, and so at the end of the day, you could say, oh, he boxes late, but I just look at myself like a Ferrari that has been with low miles on it. You know what I mean? So I'm sparring young guys. I'm in there, and I'm not having any difficulty. I'm healthy. I'm in shape. I take care of my body. I've always taken care of my body. I was an athlete from birth. So the only thing I could say I'm lacking, is some boxing experience that you get from turning boxing like early in your childhood, you know. But I've beaten guys who've been boxing since they were 5. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's still a chess game at the end of the day, you know. So it's and how I'm training and who I'm training with and how I'm preparing myself. When it's time for me to take my shot, I'll be ready.
Definitely, that's good to hear. And well, I mean, you are, like I've said a few times, very early on in your career so far. And so, what would you say is your main motivation?
Honestly, I have big ambitions. You know, I do believe when I was in Jamaica, you saw how Manny Pacquiao went back to the Philippines and he kind of took over his country. So I do have ambitions to be back in Jamaica once my career is finished and invest in the country and just do certain things for the people and have my name spread out there. You know, I'm in love with my country. You know, so once boxing is finished, I will be able to go back there, invest, and do things, and also take care of. I'm a father, so also take care of my loved ones, my sisters, my daughter, my mother. You know, being a provider. You know, a good son, good father. You know, to my loved ones. So.
No, definitely.
That's a goal.
Definitely, and well, it seems like you are quite a caring person in a way, and so is that kind of motivation that to maybe not just do it for yourself, but to do it for all them other people as well, something that drives you?
Yeah, absolutely, and I always feel like once the motivation is for others, the strength is different, you know, because I'm fueled by my friends and family to not stop, to not keep going, because it's actually bigger than myself, you know. Obviously I do have my own ambitions, like personal goals, like I want a house, cars, stuff like that, but the greater the end result is for others, you know. So I'm just living outside of myself, you know what I mean.
Of course. Well, for the moment, you've got a big fight coming up March 30th, so only a week or two away now, and you're against Gonzalez. And so, how's preparations been going for it?
Honestly, it's been going good. You know, we had to make a last minute adjustment between my coaches, but nonetheless, I've been ready. I've been sparring with guys like I actually sparred. I ended up sparring Shakur once.
Wow.
I sparred Emmy Vargas, the Vargas brothers, Gabe Flores. I sparred a lot of good guys out here in Vegas. You know, so they're keeping me sharp. And the only time I always feel comfortable when I spar guys who are really, really high level, because at the end of the day, their levels above my opponent, you know, and how I perform in my camp always makes me feel comfortable. So I have no issues, no worry, and I hope. I saw this guy Gonzalez never stopped. He kind of a mover, nothing special, but he's never stopped. So it means he's durable, you know. So I could display my defense, my box ability, and my power, you know.
Definitely.
So I'm excited about that.
Indeed, and well, I mean, this is your first 10-round fight, and so would you kind of say that you're enjoying kind of moving quite fast in your career? I mean, 10-round fights in your 8th contest is quite fast.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy, you know, because obviously having a twin brother who turned pro, I think 3 years before me, you know, he got his titles now. So at the end, they were twins. So it's not like he's an older brother. We're twins. So seeing his career go on the rise and knowing technically I'm right there too. He just had his career before me. It'd be nice to start getting my for me to be ranked and for me to be up there with him, you know, because to a certain degree we are competitive. So we always joke around with each other, you know. So like, who's gonna get the world titles first, you know? So and I'm at that level, you know, where I'm doing 8 rounds in the gym. I'm doing 10 rounds in the gym. So I believe I'm a 10-round fighter and more, you know. So there's nothing. I don't need to keep doing 6, 7, 8. You know, I can do this 10, and we could coast at 10 for a good minute, and then when there's something on the table, go to 12. But as for now, I believe I'm a 10-round fighter, and it won't be displayed this in the 30th because it's scheduled for 10, but it's not going 10. You know what I mean? But I'm a 10-round fighter. You know.
Indeed, and I like that fighting talk. And I mean, of course, you've got the stats to back it up so far. I mean, 7 fights, 7 knockouts, a very good record. And so, would you say that power has always been there with you?
Yeah, honestly, you know, growing up, I was more very strong, you know, like and without doing any like heavy without doing lifting or like working on my strength. I was always naturally gifted to be strong. You know, growing up, if my mom needed me to lift up something heavy, I would do it. Do this, do that, move this, move that. I was always just, it was never a problem picking something up or even hitting guys in the amateur. I was knocking them out too. So I know that my strength is one of my biggest attributes. You know, so I'll definitely favored and powered. You know.
Definitely. And so, well, I mean, you've had a good amateur career, but you're still kind of coming up in the pros. And would you like to maybe have a few more fights with maybe a few more rounds in and like get through the rounds a bit more, or would you just happy with the way it is? I mean, knocking everybody out.
Honestly, this year I want to fight a guy who's durable, and because then you get to see if you're really powerful, you know, if you can knock out guys who've never been knocked out. Because honestly, your first 10, first 12 fights, these are guys you kind of should put away. When you get to that championship level, are you able to knock out guys who are veterans, guys who know how to survive, guys who know how to defend, you know? So once I start knocking guys out with, once I start fighting guys with more ability and more tools and more, they've been through the rounds and stuff and fought higher opposition, we'll see, you know. But I believe, nonetheless, the way I'm training is to break you down, and the shots that I'm letting go are I'm not forcing my power. So it's not like I'm draining myself trying to force them out of there. It's like the shots are just coming off like that, you know. Okay. And that's what we're trained to do. So, yes, I'd be interested to get some rounds, but fans like knockouts, you know, and that's why I want to perform, and I want to be a fan friendly fighter, you know, not like a brawler, like I'm going there and getting hurt myself, but it's nice to knock someone out, you know. That's what people pay to see.
Of course. And well, I mean, you've kind of touched on this a bit so far, but how far do you believe you can go?
World champion level, for sure, absolutely. I sparred with David Haney. I sparred with Shakur. The difference between me and them right now, obviously, they're seasoned pros. Yeah. They're becoming seasoned pros. They still are young. They're seasoned pros. Sparring them, I've learned a lot, and just small little detailed things I gotta get, which would come with my experience. Yeah, cool. So honestly, late 32, I should be a world champion, 100%.
Okay, that's very good to hear. And I mean, you're in a very stacked and tough division at the moment. And is there any individual one-them fighters that you'd possibly like to fight the most?
Honestly, I don't really care whoever's in the way. You know, once I get ranked and we start seeing the top 5, we're gonna start picking off those guys. You know, one by one, and that's it. That's all. You know, and be smart and strategic into how we get to a title shot. You know, at the end of the day, it's still a chess game, inside the ring and outside the ring. And when the chess game is being played outside the ring, I'll leave that to my promoter, you know. So to put me in the best position possible. You know, boxing is a risky sport, and I'm somebody's investment and my own investment. So whoever's in the way, whoever my promoter lines me up against to get me to that shot, and whoever is in front of me, my job is to perform, and that's what it is. So I don't really care about none of the guys. Don't care about none of the champions. Who's ever's in my way to the top, then they gotta go.
Okay, yeah, that's great talk, and love it. And well, I mean, you are, like we've mentioned, kind of in the similar kind of stage, maybe not too far behind where your brother is at the moment. And just to throw this question out there, would you ever fight your brother?
No, because I don't know how the world would look like. Two twins fight each other, but I think when he gets a world title, the way we're gonna do it is like there's 4 belts, you know. So I'll have 2, and he'll have 2, and then we'll be the Thonsons will be the unified. Yeah, that's it, you know. Okay. The Thonsons will be undisputed. Once he has 2 and I have 2, that's it. That's all, you know. Well, they better just put us in the category of undisputed, because me and him fighting, not gonna happen. It would have to be for like a lot. I don't know, a ridiculous price for me to hurt my brother, you know.
No, definitely. I like that.
And even at that, I don't think so. So.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, no. That kind of, I know it's of course your brothers, but that bond is something which I really like to see, and it's that kind of supportedness, and it seems like you've kind of had that throughout both of your careers.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, just At times where, let's say during COVID, when people weren't allowed to interact with each other, I lived with him and we were still able to work together and spar and keep each other sharp, and that's pretty much it. Because his style is more like elusive and quicker. I'm more power, so we're kind of opposites. So some of my toughest sparring is with my brother because we know each other so well. So I can kind of read his thoughts a little bit, So we're always complimenting each other and pushing each other to go to the next level,
Definitely. Okay, well, that's great. I'll leave it with just final question, which I always like to ask. You've got a little bit of a platform here. Would you like to shout anything out?
Just shout out to all the people who are supporting me and keep supporting me, and we're almost there. And I just thank you to be with me along this journey, and just stick with me through, and we'll get to the top. Thank you.
Okay, yes, indeed. Well, thank you very much for coming on the channel, mate, and maybe a little bit further along down the line, we can come and have you back on the channel again.
100%.
Okay, great. And so if you're new around here and you have to subscribe, please do so. Like the video if you like the video, and thanks for watching.